Hello, and welcome to another session on using Blender for video editing. Today we're going to talk about animation, how to animate things in Blender, which means basically taking any property of a strip and having Blender automatically change the value of that from one value to another. So for example, let's say we have a video strip here and we want to make it slide across the screen. So what you would do is you would go into the offset and you can set what's called a keyframe at the first value, and then you move down along in the timeline and then you set another keyframe set with a different value, and then once you go to preview or render that, Blender will automatically adjust the value of that offset going from the first value until the second value. And that's basically animation. It's pretty straightforward, just that basic concept of it, but it gives you so many options. You can do more than just the basic transitions that Blender gives you through the FX strips. In fact, you could replicate those if you wanted to. Like a gamma cross between two different strips is basically taking the opacity of one, bringing it down, and then while you bring up the other one. So enough talk. Let's just show you what I've been talking about. I'm just going to start by playing this so you can see what's going on. Really, it's just, what do we have? We've got a color strip on the bottom, and then a video strip in the middle, and then a text effect strip on top. So let me stop that, and let's talk about, let's show the first thing I mentioned about sliding something across. So I'm going to just go back to the start of the timeline here and have this video strip selected. Now I'm going to scroll down in the properties to where it says image offset. We have to check that so that we can see the X value. In order to create a keyframe, so Blender knows that this is going to be a value that we're going to transition over time, all you have to do is you first enter in the value that you want, or in this case, I want the value to start at 0. And once you have that value in, you just press the I key. And now, as you can see, the field has changed to yellow highlighting. And over on our top left here, under the graph editor, there's some new entries. And we're not going to get into that now, but I just wanted to point that out. So let's just go about halfway through the video, and now you can see that the color has changed on this. It's showing a green. This is Blender's way of telling us that this property has a keyframe value set, but it's not set at this particular spot. So it gives you a good indicator of what have you been animating already. So as you can see, all the other fields are still the normal grayish color. Only this one has the green. And now I'm going to adjust this value. I'm just going to click and drag. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to click and drag to about here with the left mouse button. And now, once again, I can press the I key, or I can right click on it and choose Insert Keyframe. It's the same thing. All right, now by doing that, now it has taken on the yellow color again, so we can see that we have a keyframe at this point. And let me just go ahead and jump back to the start and hit the play button. And there you go. You can see that Blender is doing this for me. There's no action on my part needed after that. I could set more keyframes if I wanted to. So let's say I wanted to bring it back to the start, especially for something like some kind of looping animation. So let me stop it right there. And then what I can do is, the thing to keep in mind with keyframing is, so it goes from point to point. So if I wanted it to, so we're at the beginning, it's right over here, and then somewhere around here is when we get all the way to the halfway point, and then I want a few seconds, and then it'll start coming back, then I have to set another keyframe. So I'll go ahead and press I at this point. So that changes color. And then I can go over here and bring that back to 0. I'll just type that, press enter, and press I. There we go. And then now I will play it again. So you'll see that it's going to shift one way and then pause a bit and then shift another way. And that's pretty much it for now. That's the basic intro for keyframing. Just one more thing I wanted to point out is that another way to be able to tell where the keyframes are, there are hotkeys, keyboard buttons you can press to jump to a keyframe. So, and they are the up arrow and the down arrow. So I will press the up arrow, and then you can see I'm jumping to this point, and then this point, and then this point. And I can press, if I keep pressing the up arrow, it'll show a warning message here, no more keyframes to jump in this direction. So I didn't add any more there, but I can press the down arrow and go back to every single prior keyframe. These keyboard buttons, they'll only work if you have that strip selected, a strip that has keyframes. So if I were to select this text one and I try to press the up and down, nothing's going to happen. So that's also another good way of seeing if you have any keyframes set, besides just scrolling up and down to see if there's any yellow, or looking at this graph editor over here, which again we'll get into later. So that's it for now. That's the basic introduction to keyframing, to animation. I will be creating several videos to talk about the things we can do. So in the show notes, I'll also I'll give a link to an animation I created entirely in Blender, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed this short introduction to keyframing, to animation. If you did like it, then please do hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more content, which will be hopefully coming soon. Okay, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye now.